All right, let's get right into it. In the super crowded world of AI, a company called Higgsfield AI just sort of exploded onto the scene. It felt like they came out of nowhere, but they didn't. Not really. And in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how they pulled it off. First, let's just talk about the numbers that put these guys on the map. By late 2025, the company had shot up to a valuation of over $1 billion. That's a B. That's the magic number that officially gets you the title of unicorn. It's incredibly rare in any industry, let alone one as cutthroat as AI.
And look, this wasn't just some investor fantasy. They pulled in 11 million users in their first 5 months. I mean, just to give you some perspective, that's a faster start than a lot of the social media giants we use every day. That is the kind of explosive growth you just can't argue with.
And to prove this wasn't just about a bunch of free accounts, they hit an annual run rate revenue of $50 million. Now, all that really means is if you take what they're making right now and stretch it out over a full year, you get 50 million bucks. It's solid proof they didn't just know how to get users, they knew how to get them to open their wallets. So this all leads us to the big question, right? How in the world did an AI video startup manage to do all of this in what feels like the blink of an eye? That's the mystery we're going to solve today. So let's roll the tape back a bit. To really get the how, you've got to first appreciate the how fast. I mean, their journey from a brand new company to an industry giant was just pure, unadulterated speed. This timeline just says it all, doesn't it? Founded in 2023, by 2025, they announced this massive funding round that was oversubscribed, which, by the way, means investors were literally lining up, fighting to give them money. And then, just a few months later, boom, they crossed that billion-dollar line. The velocity is it's wild. So, what was their secret sauce? Well, the first part of the answer isn't actually about having some secret superior technology. It's all about a game-changing strategy that was laser-focused on one thing: making AI video ridiculously simple for everyone. Yeah, this chart really nails it. Before Higgsfield, making AI video kind of felt like you needed to be a programmer. You had to write these super complex text prompts, there was all this technical guesswork, it was a pain. Higgsfield came along and just blew all of that up with their click-to-video idea. They swapped all that complexity for simple, one-click presets and cool cinematic styles. The barrier to entry? Gone. And this all boils down to their secret weapon, what people are calling a UX/distribution moat. The idea is actually pretty simple. When the underlying AI tech is basically available to anyone, your real advantage, your moat that protects your castle, comes from making it incredibly easy to use. That is the key. That's how they got those 11 million users so fast. They won the war by being the simplest, not necessarily the most complex. Okay, so you've got a ton of users. That's great, but that doesn't just magically make you a billion-dollar company. So how did they turn all that buzz into serious, hard cash? Well, they built this brilliant 2-lane highway to profit. Their playbook is it's a thing of beauty. Step 1, pull in millions of people with the easy, free tools. Step 2, take the most active users, the ones who are really into it, and convert them to paid subscriptions. But step 3, this is where the real money is. They target huge companies with powerful professional tools that solve very expensive business problems. And we're not talking about just a few extra filters here. For their pro clients, they offer game-changing stuff. Like WAN camera control lets you direct the AI like a filmmaker. You can create these complex camera moves, aerial shots, tracking shots, all with simple commands. No drone, no camera crew. And tools for making brand ambassadors or rapidly testing ads, that's exactly the kind of thing big marketing departments will pay top dollar for. And here's the crucial point. Their valuation isn't just smoke and mirrors. As the research puts it, they pulled off this dual achievement. In other words, they've got the hype, for sure, but they also have the cold, hard cash to back it up. And it's all thanks to that brilliant 2-lane strategy. But hey, no company is invincible. And despite this incredible success story, if you look a little closer, you start to see some pretty significant challenges, some real risks that could threaten their spot at the top. This SWOT analysis lays it all out pretty clearly. We've talked about their big strengths, right? Market leadership, making real money. But look over here, on the other side of the chart. There are a couple of big vulnerabilities that really jump out. A key feature that's missing for pros, and a risky reliance on other companies' tech. Let's break those down. First, this weakness. Right now, on Higgsfield, you can't upload your own photo or your own design file and tell the AI to bring that to life. Now, this might sound like a small thing, but for professional creators, it is a huge deal. They need total control. It's a missing piece of the puzzle that could easily push their highest-paying customers to a competitor.
And here it is, the biggest, most existential threat they face. See, Higgsfield uses some of the best AI models from other companies to power its platform. This leads critics to ask a very tough question. Are they a real tech company, or are they just a beautiful, user-friendly marketing layer on top of someone else's engine? This is a massive risk, because if those other companies ever decide to build their own easy-to-use apps, Higgsfield's main advantage, their entire moat, could just vanish.
So, when you put it all together, the explosive growth, the smart playbook, but also these very real dangers, what does the story of Higgsfield actually tell us about the future of AI and, the future of creativity itself? I think at the end of the day, the big lesson here is that the rules of the AI race are changing. It turns out having the absolute best, most powerful technology isn't the only way to win anymore. Higgsfield's success is proof that a fantastic user experience, making things simple and accessible, can be an even more powerful weapon. And you can see how this is going to shake up creative jobs, right? The focus is shifting away from all that tedious manual work. Instead of spending hours in an editing suite, the job is becoming more about strategy. We're seeing these new roles pop up, like AI creative director, where your main skill is setting the vision and telling the AI what to do, not doing it all yourself. Which leaves us with one last big thought to chew on. What if the future of creativity isn't this battle to see who can build the most powerful AI? What if the real race is to see who can build the simplest bridge between that incredible power and the rest of us? The story of Higgsfield seems to suggest that's exactly where we're headed.